We went to college together. Since then we've got into doing projects together, and a lot of that has ended up starting through working in galleries as technicians.
This is the first official collaboration as well, so the last 3 years or so we've been working with each other in a kind of group, so if ever somebody has an exhibition or show, everybody wants to help out.
And there's a really nice thing that happens when you're making something with someone else once you start doing it and figuring out roles of who's going to do what. So maybe one person will be doing all the screws and the other one will be doing all the holes and someone else will be doing the measuring. But for an amount of time you pick a role and you kind of live that out. The collaboration has been really ambitious in that it hasn't been each of us bringing our own practice and going like, oh, I'll put that here next to your one. But we've really tried to make something that the three of us negotiated to some extent. That's always, I think, a funny thing with collaboration until you start making, is that you can all be talking about something and have completely different ideas in your mind of what it is going to be, and then when you actually make it, the end product is not going to be something that we know exactly, but that is surprising for us in some way.
For us, it was a little bit about playing with some of the elements that might already exist. We wanted to bring some sort of water into the gallery, and then also stone coming directly out of the stone floor, that they kind of ended up being a bit like extrusions, exposing the characteristic that's maybe to some extent already there. Tom coined the term of material navigation. That is how the material itself suggests to you how it could be used. So for example, the wood floor is what you'd use building sets or stages, and especially steps, and when it's been treated like that.
For me, that was really exciting, and think of these extrusions as well as a potential that is always in the gallery. I like to think of maybe a future gallery where you could just pull up the floor to make a wall or extrude one of the walls to make a bench. In that way, using the same materials as those places that we're extruding for imagines that.
There's not very many things that are decorating. There's a lot of their use is what we find beautiful, or how functional something can be, or has become or made to be.
As opposed to maybe a sculpture, something that you just look at. All the things there are doing what they're supposed to do. The space is active in that sense.
This woman that we met in a thrift shop in Joshua Tree, well, she was talking about this place that we should go visit.
Noah Purifoy Foundation.
And she was just describing it. It's loads of things that people have made, little groove spots just to hang out in. We found a few of them on our whole trip, and then we did we make any? The car, maybe?
Yeah. Well, I think the car, even the activity of camping is kind of an exciting activity where you're finding things in your environment that could work for you and then maybe adding a little bit more to make them a nice place to be.
In the title, I think that clues is more of a delicate word, more suggestive, and brute is the opposite. And just to kind of hint at some of the subtleties in play in the work, where there is a big, huge cement thing, there's also a reason why it was cast in a certain way. We were trying to play with time a little bit in that we built these foundations that ended up supporting the floor, but they could easily become a house because they're sort of built in this way that it looks like they might be unfinished, or they could just hint at something underneath for you to explore, like a ruin or an archaeological dig, and that clues is a bit of a hint at this potential trapdoor that you could go through.